So obviously the first thing that we offer, so we have over 400 UK-wide volunteers who each support individuals in their own home or in a coffee shop. But like I said, we've also started recently going to day centres where we're supporting the end users themselves, either to use technology or talk about scams, what things to look out for, catfishing, things like that, just to make them aware that not everybody is who they say they are, and to be aware of that and what kind of signs to look out for. So if anybody that you know would like to be referred into our services, so if they want help setting up a device, or maybe the device that they've got is not doing what it should do for them. So if they have a specific disability where they're finding, say, they have dexterity issues and they're struggling to press the buttons, or if their sight is being affected and they can't always see the device clearly, we have our volunteers would come out, can help the individual to use that device and make it more accessible to them. So if you want to refer into our services, we have a phone number, it's a free number from a UK landline, an 0300 number, or we also have a referral form on our website, which I will show you now. You don't want to see my inbox. Let me just get my share a screen up. That's that. So hopefully you can see the AbilityNet screen there. So that's what our home, no, you can't see that yet. Can you see that, our home screen? Hopefully you can.
Yes.
Yes, brilliant, thank you. So that's what our home screen looks like. And this is where all our free resources are that you guys can access. So the first thing is how to refer someone in. So if we go to request free IT support, it's our first box there, request free IT support. And then you scroll down, you fill out all the information there. The more information you can give, the better it is, because we like to know what device it is. Whatever you can give, anything that you think is relevant, pop it in there and we'll be able to get a volunteer to support with that. Or like I said, you can phone we used to have an 0800 number, but it's just recently changed to an 0300 number. And that will be there too. I just go back on that, there it is there. So it's still got our 0800 number there, but that is about to change to an 0300 number, which is just there. And you can call that Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and talk to one of the lovely guys in the call centre. They'll do all they can to help you there, and then hopefully get a volunteer out to you. So how that works, so what will happen is once you've filled out the form or spoken to somebody in the call centre, we'll pass all your information on, or the person that you're caring for's information on, to a local volunteer who will then call you, have a little chat, talk about what kind of support you need, and make an appointment to come and see you at a time that suits yourselves. So our volunteers, some of them do work, so evenings and weekends are good. Some of them don't. They can do any time, and then whatever suits you, we'll come out, have a chat, support you with whatever it is, and that support carries on for as long as you feel you need it, and as long as a volunteer feels they can support you. So that's the first kind of service that we have. Our other services are all on our website. So we have tons and tons of resources on the website. We have monthly free webinars that we work in conjunction with lots of other charities. We work with obviously Age UK, Parkinson's UK, Stroke Association, so we can give you a real good idea of what someone with these disabilities might need around tech, and how technology can help them with their disability, and what would make life easier for them. So them free webinars are all here. So again, the first tab there, you go down to free webinars, and once they've been recorded, they're all there indefinitely for as long as you want. So they're all recorded. You just search by disability and you can find so many different options there. A really popular one that's coming up in December is one about scams. It's called the 12 Scams of Christmas. And we've got a couple of guys talking about with BT, talking about what scams are out there, what to look out for, what kind of red flags you should be looking for, and what to do if you come across a scam. We're going to talk about a couple of those today anyway, but it's always good to have, the more awareness you have, the better it is. The other support that we have is our fact sheets. Again, you go there. So there's a few fact sheets there on, oh God, there's tons. Let me type in. So if you type in at the top of our search bar, if we put in, let me think, what can I put in? I put sight loss in, because that's one of our pop sight loss fact sheet. And again, you put that in, and then there'll be all different tips on what would help someone with sight loss, how you can support them, what devices are out there, what is the best way to make the device they have accessible to someone with a sight impairment or sight loss. So let me just stop for a second there. So with all these things, there's so much information I understand that I'm giving you. What we'll do is we're going to send, I'll send out to Carers UK a little brief description of all the links to all of these different things so you can all look at your own leisure. And me and Chris will share our emails in the chat. And if you have any questions after this webinar, you can come to us, just drop us an email and we'll see how we can support you. So that's the all our free resources. The other thing that we also have that's free is a gentleman called Alex. He's our disability consultant. Now, I would have invited him, but he's off enjoying himself for Thanksgiving in America with his wife, so who is an American. So she's there over there having a lovely time. But his job is to talk about or to know and understand all different kinds of technology that is out there that can support someone with a disability. So if you had someone you were helping that you didn't know what was the best route for them, what would help them? Is it maybe a different device or a different app that might be able to support them? Alex's job is to kind of signpost you and point you in the right direction of what things could help. Now, as a charity, we always focus on what is free, what is maybe already built into a device that you already have at home. And if those things don't work, Alex is always good at signposting again. We don't offer support in applying for funding, but Alex is aware of what kind of funding pots are out there and whereabouts you'd be able to maybe access those. So he's happy to point you in those directions too. But if you ever need any help from that kind of service, if you just call into the call centre and you can say that you want some support from our disability consultant, I'll put that in the notes as well.
So as Donna said at the beginning, we've been doing a lot of work with retirement villages across Birmingham. We've delivered this session to online, but there's been a big appetite because unfortunately, I should have added the disclaimer at the beginning. The internet is not big, bad, and scary, I will add neither. So, but I think what I'm going to talk about is things that you need to learn and understand about the consequences. I hate even using that word, but it's a word that's been mentioned quite a lot in more recent times. Looking at scams, unfortunately, scam numbers going up. The scammers think they're getting more clever. Well, FYI, they're not. Because hopefully with your resilience, we can put them off. I don't know if you've seen in the news more recent weeks about the car park scam that's doing its rounds. If you go to to one of these car parks that trying to charge you, they're actually scammers are now using QR codes. It's the little kind of barcode you'll see on certain items, and they'll actually take it to their website and not to the company who you think you're paying for the car parking. There's an article just last week, and I'll share it on the chat, of a lady that was scammed incredible amount of money. I think it was something like £15,000. She lost. Thankfully, and that's a lie, £13,000. I've just found the article there. I'm just going to say share it in the chat there. And it's frightening to what tech and scams are, and this is why we try and take the alleviation of that problem and remove that and give you the the support you need. Donna said a couple of minutes ago about the classic phone call that many of us will get, and you'll challenge them. I've been called all sorts of things over the years, and I really don't care now, because if I waste their time, it's likely that they will not scam someone else. We talk about challenging, so challenging what you see. I'm going to ask you here, and anything that you say remains confidential within these walls, including the recording, of course. But can I ask any of you, and be honest, if you saw something on Facebook that said, click here to share, and as a reward for sharing, you'll get a £50 Tesco voucher. Who here would do that? And be honest with you. If you saw something you think, £50 Tesco voucher, jackpot, you can put it in the chat or take yourself off mute. But I'd be quite interested to hear of anyone that would or wouldn't. And
I've clicked on it. I've not, obviously, when it gets to start asking for my bank details, that's when I'm like, no. But I've clicked on things like that before, absolutely.
Okay. My advice is you don't. And I can use an example. My mother, she's a prime example of it. She'll see something on Facebook that will say, click here to win your £50 voucher, but put your bank detail or your bank card in. People fall for it, which is the frightening thing. And I think we have to be so careful to where we've gone from, during the COVID pandemic, we've had lots of these strange emails and texts and all that kind of things. People still fall for it though. So we need everyone just to be a bit more kind of proactive and look at these kind of scams. And as Donna said, Friends Against Scams, they're a fantastic organization. Adam Carter, who's the main contact for us, has delivered so much fantastic high quality training to us to allow us to speak to likes of yourselves to support individuals across the UK. And I would really take kind of a little bit of time out your day to have a look at their website. Donna, I don't know if you can put the link in the chat for me as I'm just preparing the app stuff.
It's already there.
Is it? There's your email. It is cool. Donna has put the link there, 1118. So I would have a look at it and become something called a scam marshal. So if any of you, for example, are part of community groups or maybe part of a church or something, become a scam marshal and teach your friends and educate them. Because I don't know, like when I was younger, a long time ago, at the age of 31 now, I'm definitely getting kind of older now. And if I saw something on social media that said, winner a free Ross County season ticket by clicking here to share, you'd probably tell now who I support. Would I have clicked share? Most likely I would have. But actually, when you take just a couple of minutes to think about it, you go, that's too good to be true. Particularly with Christmas coming up, I've got a funny feeling we're going to see a lot more social media scams appearing. Particular sharing things from supermarkets and various other kind of scams that we'll get. I say I don't want to put you off, but if you educate yourself on scams and educate others, we can put these scammers jobs out essentially. Because I remember one chap, I challenged them, and Donna's heard this story a few times. I don't let these people kind of sit down almost. I speak to them on the phone. I told someone to go away politely, and I got told where to go very rudely. Or the other alternative is put a radio, find the radio and put your phone up to it and say you're just putting them on hold and you'll go and get the person. 5 minutes later, you come back and say they're not available. You'll get called probably some choice names, but actually it's wasting their time because at the end of the day, we always say just take a couple of minutes out your time just to try and push them away. If you don't feel comfortable with challenging them, just put the phone down. There is different types of things though you can get out there. So there's something called a call blocker, which we would recommend. And you can get them for free against Friends Against Scams also. However, there is also most phones these days, particularly the hands-free phones, comes with an inbuilt call blocker that you can block a number. So if there's anyone on the call today or watching the recording and want a little bit of help to try and establish, do you have a call blocker in place? Let us know, and we'll kind of give you some guidance. I'm going to briefly take you through it very quickly, but again, more than happy to talk you through this at a separate time if it helps. So this app uses the back end, and the reason why you're seeing a black screen just now is because
News Hornaby. Woman are cheated in £13,000 railway Ashen QR code scam.
I'll let it finish. Thank you. This is an app that uses the camera from either the back of a mobile or the back of a tablet. It's free of charge to download. It's the word Seeing AI. Donna, if you could put it in the chat for me, that'd be cool, please. And as I say, I'm going to briefly walk you through it, and then I'm going to show you something else to kind of, which again, you might love or you might hate, but I'm going to show you both. So first things first, left to right. So there's something called short text. So this is designed to read a sentence or a paragraph. So if I hold
Tag Starties News, E menu, England local news regions, T's, Thornaby, woman targeted in £13,000 railway station QR code scan.
It will automatically, though, read what it shows on, if you've got a letter, it's arrived. This probably is better for you. So this is something called document reader. So you hover above something, and that big button in the middle, you take your camera. Unfortunately, I've not got a document here, but you hover above and you face down, essentially. You push that, but it's like a scanner, and it will read what's on that letter to you.
Product.
So this is quite an interesting one. I have seen people in the supermarkets use this. And when they go into the shops, you see people kind of scanning. And I thought it was just a bit that Tesco thing. You go through Tesco's and you buy, you kind of scan what you buy. This will tell you what a product is. So if I hold
Processing.
that barcode there.
Screen clean pump spray 250 megaliters.
So it's telling me it's screen cleaner. So if I'm in a supermarket and I'm buying tinned tomatoes, I'm just using Alex's example, tinned tomatoes for my spaghetti bolognese, and I accidentally pick up a can of dog food. You don't want to put dog food in your spaghetti bolognese. You want to put tinned tomatoes. So this is a kind of an app that helps people with their independence. I'm going to skip over a few of them, but just to explain. So the next icon there is location, so it will tell you what's around you. There's one that says the wee dollar sign. That will tell you how much money you've got on the table or wherever you have it. The last one, and I'm not going to do it because the feedback I had last time, it hurts people's ears. It's like a harmonica. That's the best way to describe it. And what it does essentially tells you how bright the room is. So the darker the noise, I'll tell you, I'm going to show you briefly.
Light.
So you'll hear that noise. So if you've got story ears, take your headphones away. But as I come into the lighter, you'll get that. So we're going to turn it off.
Handwriting. Preview.
It kind of checks your volume density. So sorry if it's hurt your ears. It hurts mine every time. There is a handwriting one there, but I'm going to show you a person one.
Person.
Now you might like this or you might hate me by the end of this section.
Do me first, because before you offend anybody.
I'm going to be nice first, Donna, and be a nice colleague and do it to myself. But this is an app which a part of the app that tells you what the person looks like. So for someone visually impaired, or someone who may have I've heard more recent too, in fact, people with brain injuries, actually using it, and they get kind of, if they're looking at something for such a long time, they want to know how someone looks like. But it also tells you your age, or they think they tell you your age. Now, this app normally tells me I'm much older. So let's see what it says first, and then I'm going to check.
One face near center, less than
a
meter away. Processing. 40-year-old man with black hair wearing glasses looking happy.
40. I really hate that. 31-year-old. That's rather depressing. So it's not always right. But I'm going to try and find Donna on my screen and see if it likes Donna today. So let me...
One face near process. 31-year-old woman with black hair looking happy.
I am 40, but I'm only 31.
So it's kind of got I think it's
Zero
got
faces.
Things the wrong way around, sadly. But we were down in Birmingham last time. I was delivering some of this training to a group. Just going to stop sharing and go on to another app very briefly. And they were all going around at lunchtime taking pictures of each other. And I thought we were going to cause World War III because I could hear people in reception saying, "Oh, take a picture of me, take a picture of me." And there was a lady in reception in her late 60s. It said I think she was 42 or 43, it said. And there was someone in the room that, again, I didn't feel as bad because it only said I was 35 at the time, but it said he was 74 or 75, was it? And he's only a bit in his 40s, or 35 or 36, in fact. So he said to me at the end of the session, "I really don't like, you've not made my day." I says, "Oh, well, it's technology. It's not my fault." But it definitely doesn't like me today. 40.
It consistently tells me that I'm younger than what I am consistently. So I believe it. I think it knows exactly what it's saying.
I don't think it knows what it's up to. Definitely not. And I'm just going to share my screen for the last wee bit of this, and I'm going to show you something called Be My Eyes. I'm going to show you this app very briefly. It's an app called Be My Eyes. It's an app which has had a lot of press coverage. It's fantastic. It's free. Designed by a chap from Holland called Hans. Wonderful guy. And they've done so much amazing work. I'm a huge advocate of this app. And again, it uses, so what we've just shown you about AI, this uses live volunteers across the world that will, as it says in the tin, be your eyes. So I'm going to show you something briefly. I'm going to show you two things, and then I'm going to show you an example. So on specialized help, you'll see all these kind of things that have just popped up. What I would say, should I say to you too, is you won't see the person that's helping you, but the person doesn't see your name and the person doesn't see your name or your phone number. This needs data of some sort. So whether it's 3G or 4G or Wi-Fi in the house or a shopping place, they will only see you, so you're not sharing your details with them. So I'm just going to go through each one very briefly. So in travel and transportation, Avanti West Coast, this is a new one in the last couple of months. Avanti actually have specialised staff members who will talk you through a timetable if someone is blind. I think it's a great idea. Technical, there's lots of various ones. So Be My Eyes are closed. They're based in mainly in America, their help centres. Google's closed again, they're America. LinkedIn, Microsoft, Sony, and Spotify. Someone asked me last week about Spotify and said, oh, what does Spotify do? They'll help you download the app. I'm afraid to say they do not help you make playlists or anything like that, because someone says, oh, do they help you find good music? No, afraid not. Just to kind of add that one in there just now. And this is the last one I'm going to show you. These ones, personal health. It's really important, this one in particular. So Oral-B started, and again, I've not really tried that one yet. I've tried the NHS Test and Trace, but Oral-B came onto it more recently, and they'll give you advice on how to clean your teeth and talk about toothbrushes and toothpaste. I might try that one later on. I'm doing a demo this evening, and I wonder if they tell you how to clean your teeth at the same time. You never know. But as I say, Oral-B have appeared on it in the last couple of weeks. NHS Test and Trace, it's a really valid point just to add here, is the NHS came on board with this one, particularly because of the pandemic. And people with a visual impairment had to go into a GP surgery to do a PCR or an LFT test. And now they've got specialist nurses that will say to you, yeah, you've got 1 line or 2 lines. I don't know about you, but I struggle even with good vision to have a look at the lateral flow test these days, because the lines are so faint, even with if you test positive, which I hope you don't. As I say, it's, you go on to it and they will have, again, it helps people with their independence. It's the big message here. And Clear Blue, just the last one, is that there's a bit of feedback, and I was speaking to Hans about this a while back. It was Alexander. And Clear Blue have come on board to support people with fertility tests and pregnancy tests. So they will actually tell you whether you're pregnant or not, or what the result is of your fertility test. It's a clever thing. It really is. So really, it gives, again, it's all about independence, people's personal kind of issues. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you, and then I'll talk to you. So let me just press this first.
Using rear camera. Please wait. Finding the first available volunteer.
This part.
We are still trying to find the first available volunteer.
Blow you away. So it could be a volunteer across the world. So Alex and I delivered a lot of this training in America. And we did this in London. We got a volunteer in Jordan who told us Alex was holding a can of Sprite in the middle of a training room, and Lenovo, who were hosting the event, couldn't believe it. And that something like this could make a difference. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, it's Chris from AbilityNet. I'm just doing a tech demonstration.
Okay.
Are you? Sorry, we're just interesting. Are you UK based, or where are we speaking to you today?
Yeah, I am in the UK.
Ah, you UK. Okay, well, I was just saying to them, you had someone from Jordan when I was doing a tech demo. Can you tell
Okay.
me, my lovely colleague got me a fantastic present recently. Can you tell me what, there we go, what that mouse map says?
It says I may be wrong, but I doubt it.
There we go. Yeah, that's what Donna, who's also on the call, my colleague, got me as a present. So, so yes, thank you. And if I hold this item here, what am I holding?
It's a screen cleaner.
Perfect. You're a star. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Okay, bye.
Thanks. So you can just see there, I'm just going to stop the share there. That app, again, is free, and it's allowed someone to essentially, you hold the items in front of them and they'll tell you what they see. So if you've got a problem with the partial of your site or full site, this app makes such a difference to your life. The thing is, a part of your device. So for example, if you've got a laptop, or a tablet, they have inbuilt accessibility features. You do not need to go and buy new equipment. If you've been told you've got a visual impairment or you've got a disability, you need to go and buy new tech, challenge it, because you do not need to. What we're hearing still is people with that visual impairment is being told, essentially, to go and buy Apple products for accessibility. You don't need to buy Apple. Albeit I'm an Apple man through and through. You don't need to go and buy an Apple device.
So from my perspective, if you've got someone maybe with, obviously if you're completely blind, yes, a screen reader would probably what you'd be using to find any app on your phone or find anything out. But if you're maybe partially sighted, then you would be able to, you probably would be able to locate the app. It's only one big massive button that you would press. So if you're trying to read maybe ingredients list on, say if you've got, I don't know, lactose intolerance and you want to know whether it has some kind of lactose in the ingredients, you might not be able to read the very small writing, but obviously a volunteer would be able to read that to you. Again, if you're colorblind, you might be able to ask them what color is specific something that you're looking at that you might not be able to identify, but they would. So it's not just for someone that's completely blind, it can also be used by people that are just partially sighted.